Hello, my name is Elena Hamilton, and I am one of the hiring managers for Opportunity Now's 2 summer internship programs. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the entire process of getting onto our website, searching for jobs, picking one that you're interested in, and then hopefully submitting that application. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we need to do is type into the search bar on.nashville.gov and press enter. That's going to take you to our website, and you can see under Apply for a Job, there are links to our 2 summer internship programs, which are Experience Work and High School Internship. What's important for you to note at this point is that both programs have specific age requirements. So with Experience Work, you have to be at least 14 by May 1st, and you can't be older than 16 years old. And then for High School Internship, you have to be at least 16 by May 1st, and you have to still be enrolled in high school. So you can be older than 18, but only if you're still enrolled as a high school senior. If you're sitting here thinking to yourself, well, wait a minute, I'm 16, I could do either program. All I'm going to ask you to do right now is click on one of them, and when we get farther into this video, I'll show you how to search for both through the search feature. So for the purpose of this video, I'm going to click on the high school internship link and show you how to do it through there, but it is exactly the same for both of the links. So now you should see the login page, which looks like this. If you had an account with us last year, you should be able to use the exact same credentials as you used then to log in. If you had an account with us before last year, or maybe you're completely new to Opportunity Now, you're going to click on this new user button, and it's going to ask you for a username, a password, and an email address. Whether or not you're new to our system, remember to check the email address that you have associated with your account. That is how the hiring manager will reach out to you once you've submitted an application. So I'm going to go ahead and log in using the credentials that I have. And it will take me to my job search page. So right away, I can see a reminder that this program is only for people currently living in Davidson County. If I scroll down, I can see Opportunity Now's search feature. You guys may or may not use this depending on what you're looking for in your positions. So let's go through each of these options in turn. The first box is the job number box. You guys are not going to use this unless you talk to a hiring manager and they give you a specific job number for a position they want you to apply to. The next box is the keywords box. So the situation more than likely where you would use this box is if you have a specific employer in mind that you want to apply to. So let's say you really want to apply to a position with employer XYZ. You could type that into the keywords box, and you could scroll down and press this search for jobs option and find that employer. Keep in mind though, that you have to spell the employer's name exactly correctly, or it's not going to show up when you press that search for jobs button. We are not going to use the minimum age to apply at all, but you might use these other two. So let's talk about them. With location, let's say that I live in the south side of the city, and I know that I'm going to have a really hard time getting transportation anywhere other than South Nashville. I could go in here and I could pick South Nashville as my location. And when I press search, it's only going to bring up positions that are in the south side of the city. I could also go back and add multiple locations. So let's say I'm willing to travel to the south, or maybe I'm willing to take a virtual position. I could search for both of these at once. I can also remove a location if I change my mind. And then the final thing, for those of you guys who are 16 who wanted to know how to do both programs, you can add work type here, and you could click Experience Work and search for both of them at the same time. In my case, I just want to scroll through and see what jobs are available. So I'm not going to use any of these search features. I'm just going to keep scrolling, and I can see that all of the jobs are listed at the bottom. And they're actually all listed in a specific way. So each job title starts with the program name, which in this case is High School Internship. The other one would say Experience Work. And then it's the company name, which in this case is MMPS Academies of Nashville. And then finally, it's the job title, which in this case is District Office Intern. So I can see the second one is with the Venture Science Center, and it's called Summer Camp Intern. The other things I want you guys to pay attention to at this point is you can see where the position is under work location. So this one is virtual, this one is in the south. And then finally, you can see how many people they're trying to hire. So MMPS Academies is only going to hire 1 intern, whereas a Venture Science Center might hire 5 interns. So that's something to know as well. If you look along the side here, you can see that I have a couple of pencil and paper markers next to these positions. That means that I've started a submission or I've started an application to those positions. If I had gone through and finished an application, I would see this completed submission icon next to them. So I'm going to scroll through, and let's say that I am interested in this 54 Donaldson Station intern position because I see that it's in East Nashville and I live in East Nashville. So if I'm interested in a position, I can click on it to learn more. So let's go ahead and do that. So now that I've clicked on a job that I might be interested in, I want to spend some time reading through the description and seeing if it would be a good fit for my interests and my schedule over the summer. The great thing about our job descriptions is they are all set up in exactly the same way. So it's really easy to compare one job to another and see which one might be a better fit. So they'll be broken down into 3 sections: company information, internship information, and finally, general information. And again, that's going to look the same across all of our job descriptions. So let's go ahead and see what this one looks like. So it starts off with our company name, the address, the website, and then a quick overview of what the company does, just in case we weren't already aware of that. And the final thing in this section is the nearest MTA bus stop, which will be really important to know if MTA is how you plan on getting around over the summer. The internship information section is really where we get into the meat of the job description. So what is it that I would be doing if I took this position? So they reiterate the format and the internship title. They give us a sentence or 2 about generally what my tasks will be. And then they really get into it in this job duties section. So in this case, we can see that they did a percentage breakdown of time. I would spend 50% of my time at the front desk greeting people. I would spend 25% of my time doing office tasks. I would spend 25% of my time doing member phone calls. Not every single one of our job descriptions is going to have this percentage breakdown, but if the description you're looking at does, definitely pay extra attention to it because it's going to give you a really clear picture of what this internship will look like week to week. And then the final thing in this section is preferred competencies, which is what the asks are from the employer, right? This is what they want to see in their intern. So in this case, 50 Forward wants somebody who's flexible, is able to thrive on a team, likes to work with customers, and is comfortable working with the elderly. So make sure you read this section and that you are able to do most or all of the things under preferred competencies. If you have questions about maybe not meeting one of the preferred competencies, you can reach out to us. There will be a contact email at the bottom for the hiring manager, and you can send them a quick email and see if you should still apply. The final thing is general information, which will be your schedule, dress code, whether or not you have to travel anywhere, what the physical requirements are, and then working conditions. So where will you be working? In this case, an office in a busy community center. The final thing is if there's any requirements from the employer. So does the employer require a drug test? Do they require a background check? Do they require you to be vaccinated? Make sure that you read this section just so that you're aware if there will be an additional requirement before you can be hired. And again, this is decided by the employer, not by Opportunity Now. The final thing that's on every description is going to be the program dates, which are June 7th through July 23rd. So again, please keep in mind those dates. Make sure that you are available Monday through Friday over that series of weeks. So let's say I've read this entire description. I'm feeling really good about it. I think it's going to be a good fit. I'm going to go ahead and click this button here at the top. And then I will see this page, and I'm going to click on Apply Online to be taken to the job application. So this privacy agreement is the first thing I will see when I start my application. I can go ahead and scroll through. I can read the privacy policy, and I'm going to want to click I accept before I can move forward. So once I click that, it will actually take me to this page, which is the resume parsing page. So it's just asking me here if I want to upload a resume, because then it will auto-populate my work experience later on in the application process. If you don't have one, if you don't want to upload one, that's totally fine. It is not a requirement. So in this case, I'm not going to upload a resume. I'm going to go ahead and press save and continue. And it will bring me to my personal info page. So this personal information is by far the longest section. It's where it's going to ask me most of the information that I'll have to fill in on this application. So it starts off with my first and my last name, and then it asks me for my address. So let's say I live on 123 Apple Street. You can see I put my street number over here and my street name over here. My apartment unit or box number. Let's say I live in apartment 3. My city, Nashville, and my zip code 37208. It'll ask me for my primary number. So let's say I only have a cell phone, I don't have a home phone. I'll list that number here. My birth month and year, my email address associated with this account, so whatever email you use to set it up with, and then my parent or alternate contact information. So this is the person that the hiring managers will call if they cannot get in contact with you. Moving on, it will ask me for my school, so I can go into search, and I can go to the next page if I don't see my school. And let's say I go to McGavick. I can press select, and it will show up under my school. If my school is not on this list, I can go ahead and put it under other. Next, it will ask me if I've ever worked with Opportunity Now before. Let's say that I have not. It says, if yes, please list the year and agency below. If no, enter NA. So I'm going to put NA. And then the next thing it asks me is what languages I'm fluent in. So in my case, I only speak English. I don't speak any other languages. So that's all I would select. If you speak a second language that's not on this list, you can press other, and then you can list that language in this box over here. The next few questions will kind of help the hiring manager understand what sort of position you're looking for. And so the first question, which of the following job duties would you be interested in doing this summer? So what kind of things do you like to do? In my case, I really like creating content, I like doing research, and I like public speaking. You can read through these and click as many apply for you. What job field would you like to work in? So we have a whole bunch of different job fields listed. Let's say I want to work in education, maybe at a nonprofit, maybe at a summer camp. Again, I can list as many as I'm interested in. What types of electronics will I be using? This is important, particularly for high school internship, because our Friday cohort piece is online. And if you are having an issue with technology and you need help with us securing you a piece of technology, we can definitely talk about that during the interview process. So let's say I have an MMPS laptop. And then finally, what working conditions would I be comfortable with? Since I just applied to 50 Forward, I definitely want to work with the elderly. Let's say I'm hoping to work inside, and I could work by myself or on a team. The next piece is this America Saves pledge. And so this is just asking you if you are planning to save any money over the summer. And we will keep track of this and try to keep you on track with whatever your pledge is. So let's say I'm trying to save $100 over the 2 months that I'm working. And I'm just trying to save that money maybe for a special event. Maybe there's a concert coming up that I'm interested in going to. And then finally, it'll ask how I heard about this job. So if you're just filling this out by yourself or with a parent, you can just put other. If you heard about it through your teacher, you can obviously put that. And if you heard about it from somebody on the Opportunity Now staff, you can put community outreach program. So I'm going to put other because I just found it online. I found it during a Google search. And then I am not going to do this checkbox to receive email notifications. And I'm going to press save and continue. The next section that we are going to see is the screening questions. And so these questions are going to kind of weed out the folks who do not meet the basic requirements for this position. So the first question, are you at least 16 years of age or older? Since I'm applying to high school internship, I have to be. And so I'm going to answer yes to that. Do I live in Davidson County? Again, that's another requirement. So I'm going to say yes. And then what zip code do I live in? I live in 37208. And I can find that down here in our list. Once I've clicked that, I can press save and continue. And it will take me again to a resume or cover letter page. So what I suggest to people is if you do not have a resume, it's totally fine to leave the resume and cover letter blank. If you are applying to a position that you know is going to be competitive and you have a resume or cover letter, I would definitely include that in this section because it can kind of help you get into one of those more competitive slots. I do not have a resume or cover letter, so I'm going to go ahead and press save and continue. And then I get to my pre-screening questions. So the first question is around transportation. It says transportation is not provided. Do you have reliable transportation to and from the internship worksite? I am going to say I have my own vehicle. Again, it asks if I participated in a summer program in the past. My answer is no. Do I have authorization to work in the U.S.? So there are 3 ways you can have authorization to work in the U.S. You can be a citizen, which means that you were born here. You can have DACA status, and you could also have a green card. So if any of those 3 things are true for you, you're going to go ahead and click yes here. And then I am doing my own application, so I'm going to put myself. If a parent or somebody else is doing your application for you, that is totally fine. It does not impact your ability to be placed. It just helps us to know who is completing the applications. So I'm going to press save and continue. And I get to this work experience piece. So if you have work experience, you can put that in these boxes. So let's say I have a current job and I'm working at Goodwill Industries as a sales associate. My supervisor's name and my supervisor's phone, I can include that here, as well as their title and their email address. And then I have an area where I can say achievements. So I could say maybe I hit the sales target 3 months in a row. Maybe I was the employee of the month in November. And again, these are going to be things that you have achieved in this job that you think would be helpful for the hiring manager to know in order for you to get this next internship. If you do not have work experience, you can leave this section blank. If you have a whole bunch, you can always add more experience. Let's say this is my only work experience, so I'm going to be done, and I'm going to press save and continue. The final section here is going to be attachments. So this is if you have anything else that you want to put in here. So maybe the job description asks for somebody who has strong written communication, and you have an old paper that you want to submit here so that I can see whether or not you have strong written communication skills. You do not have to include any additional attachments here. This is completely optional. In my case, I'm not going to upload anything else. I'm just going to press save and continue. And that's going to take me to this final review page where I can see everything that I've filled out. I can see all my answers. I can scroll through, make sure everything is correct. And then if everything is correct, make sure that you press this submit button. This submit button means that your application has been sent off to Opportunity Now staff. They have received it, and they will be reaching out to you in the next couple of weeks to either talk to you over email or to schedule a phone interview. And that's it, guys. That's the entire process for filling out an application. The only other thing I will say is you can definitely fill out more than one application if there's a few positions you're interested in. We actually suggest that people fill out at least 2 to 3 applications so that if they don't get their first choice, they can get maybe their second or their third choice. And what's neat about that is once you guys have gone through one entire application, the next one is going to auto-populate for you. So that second application is going to take you like 10 seconds to submit. It'll be super quick. It's really just this first application that takes a little while. And yeah, that is everything. So again, after you guys submit your application, you should hear from an Opportunity Now staff member within a couple of weeks. please make sure you're checking your email, checking your phone, and that you have a professional voicemail set up in case we do call you. And good luck with applications, guys.